solitude is where power is born. Solitude is where peace is created. And solitude is where your strongest self is built. And when you finally learn how to be happy alone, your whole life changes. Because you stop needing people, you stop fearing abandonment, you stop chasing love, and you start carrying peace inside you, like a crown. You are the only one who will stay with you forever. Look around you. Everyone you know today. They will either leave, change, or forget you one day. Your best friends might move on. Your family may not always understand you. The people you love the most may hurt you the deepest. But there's one person who will never leave you. You. You wake up with yourself. You go to sleep with yourself. You live every second of your life with yourself. So ask yourself, why are you treating yourself like a stranger? You spend time with people who don't care. But you don't spend time with your own soul? You listen to everyone else's opinions. But you never listen to what your heart is trying to say. The most important relationship in your life is not with anyone else. It is with yourself. And the moment you start thinking about yourself, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, you start becoming unbreakable. Being alone is not your weakness. It is your biggest power. Stop calling loneliness a problem, because solitude is a sacred training ground. Most people grow up believing that being alone is a sign that something is wrong with them. They think, if I am alone, maybe I'm not good enough. Or, maybe I'm not interesting enough for people to stay. Or, maybe I'm not lovable. That's why nobody chooses me. And this is why loneliness hurts so much. Because it doesn't feel like silence. It feels like rejection. It feels like you are being left behind. It feels like the world is moving forward with everyone else, while you are stuck in one place, unwanted and unseen. Solitude is not proof that you are lacking something. It is proof that life is giving you a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more peaceful from the inside. Think about it like this. When you are always around people, your mind stays busy, your emotions stay distracted, and you don't get time to truly understand yourself. People become noise. Conversations become escape. Messages become comfort. And slowly, without realizing it, you start using others to avoid your own feelings. You avoid your pain by talking to someone. You avoid your emptiness by staying busy. You avoid your overthinking by constantly looking for attention. And then the moment you are alone, everything you are hiding from starts coming out. That is why solitude feels heavy at first, not because being alone is harmful, but because being alone is honest. It forces you to face your real emotions instead of running away from them. And when you sit in silence, your mind begins to replay memories, regrets, fears, and painful moments. And you may start thinking, something is wrong with me. But the truth is, nothing is wrong with you. What is happening is that the part of you that has been ignored for so long is finally speaking. The sadness you feel is not your weakness. It is your heart asking for healing. The emptiness you feel is not your failure. It is your soul asking to be filled with self-love instead of people's approval. This is why Buddhism says suffering is not always an enemy. Sometimes suffering is a teacher, because it shows you what you need to fix inside yourself. Solitude becomes a sacred training ground because it teaches you how to stand on your own. It teaches you how to be calm without needing someone to comfort you. It teaches you how to enjoy your life without needing someone to entertain you. It teaches you how to feel complete without needing someone to choose you. And when you stop running away from being alone, you start discovering something powerful. You start discovering that your peace is not outside you. Your peace is inside you, waiting for you to claim it. So instead of escaping back to people every time you feel empty, stay with yourself. Sit with your emotions and breathe through them. Learn to observe your thoughts without believing every negative story your mind creates. Because the more you practice being alone, the less you fear it. And the less you fear it, the more powerful you become. Because the strongest person is not the one who always has people around them. The strongest person is the one who can sit alone in silence, look at their own heart honestly, and still feel full, still feel stable, still feel peaceful. No one has the power to control your emotions unless you let them. What if you could stay calm and unshaken no matter what life or anyone else throws your way? Imagine walking through your day with a sense of peace so strong that even the most irritating situations couldn't rattle you. That's not just wishful thinking, it's emotional mastery. In every moment, you have a choice. You can let others dictate your emotions, or you can reclaim your power and protect your peace. Their behavior doesn't define you, your reaction does. And in choosing calm, you gain not just emotional mastery, but true freedom. People don't operate by your standards or values. They act based on their own. Expecting others to think, behave, or respond the way you would is like trying to control the weather. It's impossible and only leads to frustration. Think of it this way. Each person is walking their own path, shaped by their experiences, beliefs, and priorities. When someone does something that annoys or hurts you, it's often not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. Trying to change or control their behavior only leaves you feeling powerless. Instead of focusing on how others should act, focus on accepting them as they are. Expectations are the root of all suffering. The less you expect others to behave in a certain way, the more you protect your peace. Acknowledge your assumptions. When someone upsets you, ask yourself, what was I expecting them to do? Challenge that expectation. Reflect on whether it's realistic to expect someone else to act exactly as you would. Shift your focus. Instead of trying to control their behavior, focus on how you can respond calmly and maintain your peace. Think about how liberating this mindset is. The rude stranger, the forgetful friend, the inconsiderate co-worker. None of them have the power to disrupt your emotions unless you let them. When you stop expecting others to meet your standards, you take back control of your reactions. In the end, people are who they are, not who you want them to be. Accepting this truth doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior or abandoning your values. It means recognizing that your peace is too valuable to sacrifice for something you can't control. The next time someone disappoints or frustrates you, pause and remind yourself, they're acting from their nature, not mine, and that's okay, because I choose my response. By releasing those expectations, you gain freedom, not just from others' actions, but from the emotional weight they once carried. Let go of the need to always be right. Think about the last time you got into an argument. Maybe it was over something trivial, like which route was faster, or something deeper, like a disagreement with a close friend or partner. As the conversation heated up, did you feel that strong urge to prove your point, to show them you were right? We've all been there, clinging to our version of the truth like it's a lifeline. But here's the thing, that need to always be right. It's exhausting and unnecessary. Pause before reacting. When someone's words sting, take a moment to breathe. This pause gives you the chance to choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. Separate fact from opinion. Ask yourself, is there truth in what they're saying, or is it just their perspective? Focus on what helps you grow and let the rest go. Remind yourself that your value isn't tied to anyone else's approval. Your worth is intrinsic, independent of external validation. Lao Tzu offers another layer of wisdom. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Letting go of the need for validation doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop caring about opinions that don't serve your growth. By doing so, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional weight. The next time someone's words challenge your confidence, pause and ask yourself, am I letting this define me? Or can I choose to focus on what I know to be true about myself? In that moment, you reclaim your power and remind yourself that no one's words can diminish your value unless you let them. True strength lies not in avoiding criticism, but in knowing your worth regardless of it. When you stop letting others' words define you, you create space for authenticity, confidence, and peace. And that's a life no one can take from you. You have to bring your focus back to yourself. You have to learn to think about yourself as much as you think about them. What do I need right now? What do I feel? What do I want? What's true for me in this moment? These are the questions that matter. These are the questions that help you know yourself. These are the questions that build your center. But if you're always thinking about someone else, you never get to these questions. You're always oriented outward, always trying to read someone else, always trying to manage someone else's experience of you. And that's exhausting. That's depleting. That's a way of living that keeps you from ever really inhabiting your own life. You cannot have love without forgiveness. That means letting go of the mistakes you've been punishing yourself for. It doesn't mean pretending those mistakes were okay. It means deciding they no longer get to control you. Every time you forgive yourself, you open space for growth instead of guilt. Over time, these actions change everything. You start to feel like you have your own back. You stop chasing validation from people who can't give it to you. You stop accepting less than you deserve. And something amazing happens. You begin to move through life with a quiet confidence. You speak more clearly, you walk with more purpose, and you no longer feel the need to explain your worth to anyone. A loving relationship with yourself is the foundation of all the others. If you respect yourself, you'll demand respect from others. If you value yourself, you'll stop letting people treat you like you're disposable. And if you truly love yourself, you'll never again beg for the kind of love you can already give yourself in abundance. Why self-love is the foundation of true happiness. What if I told you that every moment of happiness you've ever felt, every burst of joy, every peaceful sigh, has been filtered through the way you see yourself? Think about it. Two people can have the exact same life circumstances, yet one feels deeply content, while the other feels constantly unfulfilled. The difference isn't luck, it's self-love. Without it, happiness is always temporary, always fragile, always dependent on something or someone outside of you. We're often told that happiness comes from achievements, relationships, or possessions. Get the promotion, find the perfect partner, buy the dream home. Then you'll finally feel complete. And yes, these things can bring excitement. But without self-love, the feeling fades, and you're left chasing the next big thing, hoping it will finally fill the gap. It never does. Why? Because happiness built on external things is like building a house on sand. The moment those things change, and they always do, the entire structure collapses. Self-love is the solid ground. It's the foundation that makes happiness stable. When you value yourself, you stop looking for permission to feel good about your life. You stop waiting for others to validate your worth before you allow yourself to be happy. It's like turning on a light inside you that no one else can switch off. Even when life gets hard, and it will, you still have that inner stability, that quiet confidence that you are enough. But here's the truth most people avoid. Building self-love requires unlearning years of conditioning. From an early age, many of us are taught that our worth depends on our performance, our appearance, or how much we please others. We're rewarded for fitting in, for meeting expectations, for being good in someone else's eyes. Over time, this creates a dangerous habit. We start outsourcing our happiness. We forget that we have the power to give it to ourselves without anyone's approval. True happiness begins when you reverse this pattern. It's when you wake up in the morning and decide, I don't need today to go perfectly for me to feel good about myself. It's when you can sit alone and still feel whole. It's when you can receive love from others but not depend on it to survive emotionally. Self-love doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you free. It allows you to enjoy the highs without clinging to them, and to endure the lows without falling apart. And here's the thing. When your happiness comes from self-love, everything else in life improves. Your relationships become healthier because you're no longer entering them from a place of need or desperation. You can love others without losing yourself in them. Your work becomes more fulfilling because you're not constantly chasing recognition. You're doing it because it aligns with your values. Even your free time feels richer because you're not trying to escape from yourself. You're actually enjoying being you. The mistake most people make is thinking they can skip self-love and go straight to happiness. Self-love is something you can start building today, right now, in small ways. By speaking kindly to yourself, by honoring your needs without guilt, by setting boundaries that protect your energy. Every time you do these things, you strengthen the foundation, and happiness stops being something you chase and starts being something you live. Why is it that the moment we try to protect our time, our energy, or our peace, we start feeling guilty? Why do so many of us say yes when every part of us is screaming no? The answer is simple but uncomfortable. We've been trained to believe that putting ourselves first is selfish. And so, we sacrifice our well-being for the comfort of others, thinking it makes us good people, when in reality, it just makes us exhausted, resentful, and disconnected from ourselves. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors. Doors that you have the right to open and close, based on what is healthy for you. Without them, life becomes chaotic. People start expecting more than you can give, and you start giving more than you can handle. Over time, you lose your sense of self. You become so used to meeting everyone else's needs that you forget you have your own. And here's the cruel part. The more you give without boundaries, the less people value what you give. Keep your focus internal. Don't measure your worth by likes, applause, or external praise. These are unstable foundations. True confidence comes from knowing, deep in your bones, I did what I said I would do, regardless of whether anyone noticed. And here's the irony. When you build confidence from the inside out, others will notice. People are drawn to those who move with certainty, who don't seek permission to exist. But by the time that happens, you won't be chasing their validation. You already have your own. So, ask yourself today, what's one action you've been avoiding because you don't feel ready? And what would happen if you did it before you felt confident? If you commit to repeating that process, you won't need to find confidence ever again. You'll become it. Confidence isn't a gift you wait for. It's a muscle you train. And every rep you put in, no matter how small, makes you stronger. Build it through consistent action, and it will carry you further than you ever imagined.